Thanks very much, Jenna. Will Catalans meet the Vikings for the second time in a fortnight, looking for their first victory in 2 months? The Dragons have won all 5 Perpignan clashes since Widnes returned to the top flight in 2012, but with St Helens moving 4 clear in 4th, courtesy of that stunning win at Warrington 48 hours ago. Extending that sequence could be critical to the Dragons' semi-final hopes. Robert Hicks, as you see, is the man in the middle. It's a hot day in Perpignan, and it'll be the team that can keep hold of the ball, I think, as we look at Chris Houston there, who will come up with the goods in this one. A crucial Super 8 encounter underway then. Corey Thompson it was with the kickoff, taken by Thomas Bosk, and the first carry is a typically strong one from Remy Casti.
Yeah, well, the Catalan Dragons, they fully realise and that they really have dropped into a big hole. It looked as though they're going to be odds-on favourites to finish in that top 4. But they're still in with an opportunity, and they know that they've got to play well against a Widnes side. Widnes, of course, they've never won down in Perpignan the 5 times that they've taken the trip. So it's going to be really strong defence by Widnes.
Taylor played the ball 40 metres from his own line. Dean in defence there for the Vikings. Quick play the ball for Palicio over halfway and into that Vikings half of the field, in the shape there of Jason Baitieri.
And that's important, the defence there. You can see that they're making sure that there's no offload. Catalan, of course, as we mentioned, they've been in a real hole. Not much team spirit has been on display over the last 4 to 5 weeks, and they've really got to work as a unit.
Well, that was the last tackle, and the kick under real pressure was scrambled away, and then Widnes get the penalty for the offside.
It's a sloppy start to the match, isn't it? They've driven the ball forward incredibly well. You saw the aggression and the timing of the runs, but players in front of the kicker, a misdirected kick, and it offers Widnes a chance. Rather than clearing the ball from their own try line, they're already up to the halfway one.
Chris Houston 5 metres short of halfway on his 200th career appearance, and then Widnes with another penalty. Robert Hicks making full use of the whistle early on. Offside again, and Brown elects to run this one.
And not surprising, you know, Kevin Brown very, very smart there. He could see that Catalan, they were going, there was quite a few of the players who had their backs turned to the Widnes outfit. Good opportunity.
This is Jack Buchanan there for the Vikings. Great position for Dennis Betts' side, over on that right-hand side in the shape of Stefan Marsh. 3 in the tackle for the Dragons.
Go.
They go down the short side. Christine is there for the Vikings.
3, goal line. Hold.
Be interesting to see whether Widnes kick early. Kevin Brown is, well, he's got the ball back on the inside.
Yeah, Cahill,
Tony, hold.
Workaholic
Square.
forward for the Vikings. Gets his side to within 9 metres or so of that Catalan line. Show and go from Kevin Brown. That was so close. Stopped a couple of metres short. Last one coming up. Last chance for the Vikings. The offload is scrambled. It gets to Lloyd White though, and then the ball comes free, and he's
that could be a try.
Buchanan, I think.
Drop out. Time off.
Referee initially says drop out. He says.
Phil, can you just check whether it actually is touched?
He's going to check with the video official Phil Bentham here.
No, it went back there.
Initial call is a dropout, so Widnes, as it stands, gets 6 more.
Yes, Phil.
I think he might have had a little bit of assistance there by one of the touch judges.
He's asking the video referee to check whether it's touched. I don't know exactly what that question means specifically. There's a kick from Lloyd White, then one from Jack Buchanan, and he competes with Tony Guijo. I suppose he's checking whether it came off Jack Buchanan. I don't think there's any doubt that he grounded it, but was it a knock-on by Widnes at all before the ball goes out of play for the goal line dropout?
Interesting, Phil, whether he's actually touched the ball there. Well, there's definitely no try. There's no opportunity to get hand on ball. I suspect this might be a dropout, and it is.
Back on.
Yeah, confirmed by the video official this evening, Phil Bentham. It's a good dropout as well. It bounces on halfway and over the head of Buchanan, who has to scurry back to pick this one up. The chase is good as well, and Catalan make the first tackle inside the Widnes half of the field.
Well, it'll build the confidence for Widnes to get into the position to nearly come up with a try. It's been a real problem, as I say, over the last 4 or 5 weeks. Catalan's defence, especially in and around the ruck area, has been exceptionally poor.
Tackle on Christine was appreciated by this Perpignan crowd. Some space for Arvan on the left-hand side now. Broughton in there. Carney initially with the contact. Hanbury, such a plus for the Vikings that he's back out there. Here is Cahill.
Consistently one of Widnes' best players. Hepkale gets them to a central part of the field. They can attack either side.
White drops the ball off for Kevin Brown. Now Runciman, danger man for the Vikings. Last one coming up for Dennis Betts' side. They're 20 metres away. Brown lifts it high. Another big test, this one, and it's been spilled. And it's the first try for the Widnes Vikings. Or is it? Corey Thompson is congratulated. But Robert Hicks is going to hand this one on to the video official, Phil Bentham. No try on the field, crucially.
Well, it was a beautiful kick, wasn't it? It's fully expected from Kevin Brown. He's a master at this. Look at the ball just spinning backwards. Makes it very difficult to take. That's definitely a knock-on, and in my book, that is a try. It comes off a Catalan player.
But fascinatingly, Mike, the referee gave no try, I believe, on the field, didn't he? Who does he think's knocked on? I can't see why he's disallowed the try. It appears to us on these replays that it goes forward from Fuad Yaha.
Now, is there just...
Is he saying a knock-on to Stefan Marsh
prior to the ball touching Yaha, which would give possession to the Dragons, if that's the case?
Well, there's a stray hand there.
It's impossible to tell.
And more or less, well, they get it together, don't they? Well, it's going to take a lot of convincing. Phil Bentham is the video referee. We've already seen that Robert Hicks has made it quite clear that it's a no try as far as he's concerned.
Well, there's inconclusive evidence either way, isn't there, really? I think that they have to go with the referee's decision, which won't be very popular for the Viking supporters. I think that Corey Thompson's got the first try of the match. They've looked at this now several times. At the end of the day, it's a guess really from the video ref, Mike.
Yeah, well, if it's nothing conclusive, then of course they've got to stick with what Robert Hicks has said in the first place.
Well, in some ways, you can't get better replays of that, can you? But still, with two players competing for the ball in the air, you can never quite tell who's touched it first.
Sadly, if you're a Widnes fan, I think this may be turned down. It's a real 50-50 call for Phil Bentham. He's going to earn his corn today.
Here is the decision, and the try is ruled out. Controversial already in Perpignan. The video official Phil Bentham denies that opportunity for Corey Thompson.
What is interesting though, the referee would have disallowed that if we didn't even have a video referee system in place. So it was impressive to see that the referee made a quick decision. There's no doubt in his mind he went with what he thought he'd have to give. It was a schoolboy match, and the video referee supported that.
Well, messing around at the play of the ball area after all that pressure that Widnes have applied. But it's certainly given the red light, the warning to the Catalan side. They really have been put under pressure by the visitors. And you can see quite clearly that the official has said release him. He didn't, fail to do that.
Double frustration for Dennis Betts, the try denied, and then Widnes on the back of that conceded penalty, which allows Catalan Dragons to make their way into the Widnes half of the field there in the shape of Remy Casti. Thomas Boss quickly on, Glenn Stewart, such a danger when he's in possession, former Manly player. Bosk again directing operations. Cahill, numbers up in defence for the Vikings. Buchanan in there as well. Christine completes the trio of tacklers.
Wait, Lloyd. Go.
Pelissier to the left-hand side. Great ball from Bosk again.
Ball, move, Jack. Goal line. Wait. Square.
Just 10 metres short now. Lauren Freysinu's side. Bosk. That's Carney. Nicely on for Stewart. Housed in there. Penalty called though.
Is this for a late tackle after the ball's been passed by Elwar Pelissier? I don't know whether that looks like almost a shoulder charge movement from the referee.
Yeah, they came in on the angle, and you'll see there that he was taken out.
One hooker on the other hooker,
Lloyd White, yeah.
Oh, it's Thomas Boss, sorry.
Neat little play back on the inside. Carney was calling for it. Well, this is the first time that Widnes have been put under that pressure.
Yeah, 6 minutes gone and real pressure now on this Widnes Vikings defence. Pelissier plays the ball 10 metres away. Bosk on from Carney. That was Tony Gigo with a good kick. They did have tackles in the bank. It only just eluded Fuad Yaha, but they did have tackles in the bank. Was that the best option?
Beautiful little kick through there, and Yaha, boy, look at the size of him. They took a huge gamble there. I just had the impression that Corey Thompson tried to touch the ball, missed it, so therefore they've got away with that at Widnes.
It stays 0-0. And Widnes now has to bring the ball away from their own danger area.
Good. Get up.
Well, it's hardly surprising here that the French side have been aggressive and very quick in their defence in the middle of the field. The way their recent form's gone, they know they have to turn it around, and to do that they have to show some commitment here to man up in defence and prevent Widnes rolling down the pitch.
Yeah, 6 straight losses in League and Cup for the Dragons. Confidence will not be high. Great offload there if Kevin Brown can keep hold of it. He can't. Free play coming.
Yeah, Kevin Brown couldn't hold on to it, and it just touched a Catalan player. I think it was Pellissier, so therefore it has to be the knock-on, head and feet to the Catalan side. You see quite clearly, flipped the ball away, just couldn't control it, and soon, no it wasn't, it was the second rower, Justin Horo. As soon as it hit the second row, it had to be the scrum down.
Well, there's the former Rhinos hooker from last season, Paul Aiton. He's only played in 5 games this season. A lot of Leeds supporters disappointed when he left, the way it's turned out. Hasn't had too big an impact for the Dragons, but he'll be hoping during these Super 8s he can get onto the field and start to show everybody just how good he can still be.
Interesting to see when he'll take off Pellissier and throw on Paul Aiton. He'll be a bit ring rusty.
Good tackle. That's a superb tackle.
Yeah, his next appearance will be his 100th in the British Games. Steve-O has been waiting 4 months to make that appearance.
Well, look, just look at the effect that Lloyd White's tackles had. You soon get players starting to stop and question where to run when they see one of their teammates picked up and slammed into the ground.
Pellissier goes to the left-hand side. This is Tony Gigot now. Comes back towards the central position, taken down by White.
But you could see Pellissier coming across the field of play. He was looking for someone to support him, and that's been their problem over the past few weeks. Catalans have been playing singular rather than team spirit and teamwork.
Cahill eventually gets his man to the ground. They're 20 metres away, the Dragons. The kick over is a really good one from Thomas Bosk, and Corey Thompson in real trouble. Stefan Marsh is grounded in goal.
Well, that was wonderful, wasn't it? You talk about a kick, it's only as good as a chase, and they looked as though the Widnes side was just going to let it dead over the dead ball line, and it was flicked back. Boy, very fortunate indeed, the Vikings on that occasion.
Messages delivered from the side there, both languages, French and English. For the ones who aren't fluent in the French, we saw Jerome Gousset as the ball's tipped back by Justin Horo. They forced the goal line drop out now. I suppose the aim of the game in rugby league is to build pressure at your opponent's line and then score some points. Here's the first chance for the Dragons to do that.
Jerome Gousset, a former Warrington Wolf, of course. He will relish tangling with the Vikings.
What a great take by Thomas Bosk there. Good run as well by the big fella Remy Casti.
Great run from Casti into the heart of that Widnes defence again. 25 metres away in the shape of Dave Taylor. Crashes into the tackle there of Chris Houston. Left they go. That was Bosk. This is Carney. Really good tackle from Christine. Wrapped the ball up as well. Danger not over though. 15 away. Bosk gives it to Casti. Buchanan this time on defensive duty for the Vikings as we approach the 10-minute mark. Carney, the danger man again. Short ball this time for Duport. New deal for him.
Great tackle there by Stefan Marsh. Good defence as well. They're going man-on-man marking.
Bosk with the crossfield kick. Is a brilliant crossfield kick as well, and taken equally brilliantly by Patrick Arvan. And quickly the Vikings are going to turn defence into attack. Arvan wanted a quick tap on the 20.
I've got to be over the line.
Well, what a shame here. Fantastic positional movement there by Patrick Arvan. A lot of wingers think, I'll stay out wide and just guard my land. He came in to cover for his teammates, took the ball on the full, but in fact was too quick for the official. The referee wasn't back in place, and the game had to stop.
Yeah, and there's something that we should look at that rule as well, Phil, in regards to that. You know, all that effort by Arvan, and then the referee says, well, I weren't fit enough to get back into a position.
Well, he can't be everywhere, can he? I guess he's got to be given a chance to get to that line. He was on the try line, but he can only get there as quickly as is possible. He has to be back over the 20-metre line for the game to restart.
Yeah, I realise the rule. It's just that I think it was against the fact that Widnes could have had an opportunity. Either way, they're keeping it ball alive.
Yeah, great flick from Cahill there to continue that movement forward for the Vikings. 4 gone already though, and they're only just in the Catalan half of the field, as you see. This is Cahill. Great tackle again coming in from Taylor.
Always hurt him as well.
Hold.
He felt that, did Cahill.
Did play the ball. Last one, so Brown hoists it high. Taken well by Tony Gigot.
He's been very good for them this season. A lot of people in the pre-season expected Morgan Escaré to feature a lot at full-back, but they've gone for the slightly bigger man, the more robust player. And Tony Gigot has been a brilliant addition here, and probably arguably one of the Dragons' best players in 2016.
3, move head.
3 gone for the Catalan Dragons. Jody Broughton plays the ball 10 metres away from the halfway line.
4, move
3 in defence, led by Greg Burke for the Vikings.
Pretty tough out there on both sides as well. That's going to be a play on.
He's got to give a penalty here.
Dave
it's
Taylor's
play
done
on.
brilliantly. He's caught his own kick here, Dave Taylor. This is superb. Manages to get the
they'll
offload
come
away.
all the way back. Well, what an effort by Taylor. That was sensational stuff.
The Stade Gilbert Brutus on their feet. Sensational skill from Dave Taylor.
Well, he's a scrum half, isn't he? Trapped in a prop's body. That's wonderful play. He's just none of his teammates quick enough to get with him. He then gets the ball out. These 3 men. Corey Thompson, he must have hoped for help, and he got it. With Christine again coming back to effect the last stop. Just look at the wonderful skills here. He knows, I guess, it's a free play. Chip and chase. Got Joe Mellor just about slowing him down as a speed bump. And then the ball goes over the sideline, and the Vikings will get possession now and be pretty relieved to do so.
We've seen some spectacular tries on Sky Sports already this weekend. If that pass had found its man, I think we were right up there looking at your Phil Clark 5 this week.
Ben, it's great to see, play like that, and it's outstanding, but that's been the biggest problem for Catalan over the past few weeks. It's all individual. They are not combining as a team, and that's why they've been struggling.
3, move Ella.
Every other player is looking to say, you do the work.
Brown and Buchanan has spilled the ball.
Did well to tip it on there under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, went backwards, so Mellor can continue this move forward for the Vikings. Brown to dig them out of trouble via the boot. It's caught on the full though by Tony Gigot, who was positioned well, the 11-time French international.
A very casual kick there from Kevin Brown. Gave himself plenty of room. There was no pressure applied. But right down the throat of the fullback.
Just starting to, I think, show a little bit of fatigue here now, Widnes. They're rolling on the heels out there as the Dragons moving forward, spending the last 5 minutes or so inside Widnes' half of the field, and 1 or 2 danger lights flashing.
Duport with another strong carry for the Dragons. This is Casti.
Hell, release 4. Go.
Pelissier. That was Carney. Picks out Glenn Stewart now.
Move, Chris.
Surely the kick to the corner is on.
That's the last one. I think it was Carney who got that kick away. It wasn't the best though, and Arvan well positioned and under no real pressure.
Yeah, great work from Arvan. It had to be as well. He read it extremely well. The building in confidence. I'm with you, Phil. I just get the feeling that the French outfit, after a few scares in the opening 5-10 minutes, they're just building and building.
Hold. Go.
Approaching the quarter-hour mark, and Widnes under pressure. Certainly need to try and get into that Catalan half of the field at least. It's going to be a kick from Kevin Brown in the next couple of tackles. Here is the former Wigan man, Huddersfield as well, of course.
Well, Rhys Hansby always offers a threat, doesn't he? His speed, individual brilliance. Got them up there. Seems to be injured in that tackle.
I think he might got a little bit of a stray elbow, something into the face.
And he missed his first game of 2016 against the Dragons a fortnight ago as Gigot collects the kick. Chase is good, Buchanan in there, Houston in there. Lloyd White completes the tackle.
You can see the problem for Rhys Hanbury, but it's amazing what the water can do. And it's quite hot down there, so you've got to make sure that your energy levels, it's going to be taking its toll, and that's where it's always been an advantage in the past, Phil, that Catalan, in warm weather, they're used to it.
Well, they are, and if you keep hold of the ball, that helps as well. As now there's an impact here. Julian Busquet has just come onto the field. He's carried it forward. There's Elwar Pelissier again trying to get a penalty by throwing the ball the second time at a Widnes player.
Yeah, he threw it at Brown. He knew what he was doing.
I don't think it's in the spirit of the game, but on this occasion, the referee couldn't do anything else, could he? He's had to penalise him.
Pretty smart, though.
You are in the ball is played.
Just to prove that hookers do have brains
You are
at
offside.
times.
I don't necessarily agree with what they do, but you have still got to get away.
That's interesting. The referee says I don't necessarily agree with what they do.
Good for the goose, good for the gander, boys.
Goose and the gander.
Well, we've got to see here now whether Todd Carney and Thomas Boss can create a play here that gets them the try, because, you know, sooner or later Widnes will get to the end of the field. It won't be one-way traffic for the whole 80.
They've got to be careful of Pellissier. His runs from dummy half are dangerous.
He's not
And it's a knock on.
Another punishing run from Julian Bousquet in that, though. He'll be a real impact player for the Dragons from the bench.
Well, they did actually took Jacques Buchanan's foot, didn't it? I mean, I have a degree of sympathy there, Mike, for the French hooker.
That's 3
To be
times
fair, Robert Hicks is doing it tough at the moment.
Minutes. Yeah, no, that's not
It's
happening.
a little
not
bit
today. Get on with it.
scrappy.
Heads in. You've had it
Perhaps
once.
that is
Heads
a
in.
key
Hang
factor,
on.
but
Kevin,
you
get
really
in.
should have got this. But there's
Heads
the trailing foot.
That was more of a penalty than the
Yeah.
last one, wasn't it?
It
Can't
certainly
get out there.
was. You
You've got to
could
move.
see quite clear that Buchanan certainly
Surrender!
trailed the leg.
Stand now, hold. Go.
Some strong carries required now from the Vikings. Dave Taylor takes a breather.
2. Move. Hold is 10. Hold. Wait. Wait. Go.
It's a very
Thompson played the
controlled
ball.
ruck, wasn't it? Very controlled ruck here. The
3,
tackles are not just
move.
making good tackles, but they're controlling
Go.
their opponents in them. Widnes, they're desperate here for a penalty, I think, to get out to their own
4.
half and break this
Move
cycle
in.
that they're under of pressure.
Go.
Menezi Manikafoa on for the Vikings. Can he have the impact that Julian Bousquet has had
Last.
for the hosts?
Move. Here.
Stewart with the tackle.
Go.
Last one. Brown elects to get it further wide to Mellor, and Joe Mellor with work to do. They're going to run this, and Stefan Marsh it is who kicks it in the end. He's going to chase his own kick. That was a really inventive last play, and is going to come up for the Widnes Vikings. Well, they're going to get a repeat set. Tony Gigot had to be on guard there and just about got there to see off the danger.
In my opinion,
Yeah, beautiful chip over and a good chase as well. Nothing that the fullback can do. He realises that he's under pressure.
That's what that one was.
I think that's a game-changing play there we've just seen on the last tackle.
If he
With the
stands
high
on the
kick,
mark,
they elected
stands
to
on the
back
mark
the
and
skill
plays
they've
into
got.
him, penalty.
They shifted the ball wide, and then a nice kick at the end with those players chasing forward. They've gone from being under pressure about 3, 4, 5 minutes ago here now to working their way with some good play to the other end of the field. Now, the game has seesawed here, and you get the sense there are points coming here. Players dropping, heat is affecting a lot of the teams here. We're not seeing many errors. The game's ball's been in play a tremendous amount in the opening quarter.
Well, there's an opportunity there for Widnes, and I'm sure that the coach Dennis Betts will have seen that. They've been quite happy of Widnes to just trail it down the middle, but on that occasion, quick hands, beautiful work from Kevin Brown, and then of course a lovely kick from Mellor.
Turn back on.
That's right, Steve. Well, this dropout really is a reward for invention. Kevin Brown could have kicked it deep, he didn't, and that ball has gone back from Hanbury, so Widnes will get the ball inside the Catalan half of the field, and 6 more tackles to attack that Dragons line.
Boy, he was lucky there, Hanbury.
Hold it,
I just got the impression that might have been forward. Either way, the official said, get on with it.
Short ball from Brown. Houston.
2.
You know, Brown has been taking the first receiver all the time. And, you know, I often think it's nice to be able to get Brown onto that second receiver. You know, maybe push Joe Mellor in there, take first man.
Thought for a moment Charlie Runciman had managed to get that ball back on the inside. That would have been a sensational offload. As it is, Lloyd White has it. Can he smuggle the ball for Reece Hanbury? Well, it's going to come up for Jody Broughton, and Broughton is quick. It's going to be a foot race, and Jody Broughton cutting back inside. Broughton against Mellor is there. Broughton still going. It's a 60-metre run from Jody Broughton. It's going to be a sensational try from Jody Broughton, is it? Has he got in the corner? We know all about the pace of Jody Broughton. He's scored some sensational tries over the years.
Time off.
He's not going to be awarded this one just yet.
They don't come much better than this. Boy, that was excellent. Okay, it's from a loose pass.
Okay.
Has he got it down? He looked as though he'd been tackled just short. What's the official going to say? He's got to try.
If it's not a try, it's try saver of the week definitely here from Joe Mellor, who worked so hard against a player who's quicker than him and had the ability to change direction unbeknown to Joe Mellor, but he worked his socks off here, didn't he, to make this a difficult finish. The ball's grounded there. Does he retain possession? It's a great angle. Does he stay in the field of play? Yes, he does. That's a good try.
Well, it certainly looks it from head on. Was there a trailing leg? He's convinced.
He is convinced, and Jody Broughton is awarded the touchdown. It's 19 Super League tries now for the former Hullman. He played in France, he faced France, I should say, with England Knights 5 years ago. No tries in his last 5. He's back with a bang.
Well, he's had a great season. You said 19 tries now in 21 Super League games. He's been outstanding. What a great decision it was by the Catalan Dragons to recruit an English winger, one who'd failed to get selected very often last season. As the Widnes coaching staff look on, I guess a little disappointed. Their team were attacking, but when you've got to play with that sort of pace, they can go the length of the field, and he's turned the smiles on now for the French fans.
Well, you'll have to feel for the little halfback, Joe Mellor. He did everything. He turned Broughton back on the inside at the first impact. And then race for the corner, but it just shows you that when you've got that speed and the momentum just took him over. That was exceptional. 70-metre try there.
Corey Thompson second on the Super League try chart, denied a try on 4 minutes. Jody Broughton third on that list, awarded one. As Thomas Bosk prepares to try and improve from the touchline. He's just pulled it slightly, but Catalan Dragons hit the front, 4 points to 0.
Well, the loss of possession from Lloyd White, how costly can that be? You pick up the one player who Widnes did not want that ball to go to, was the man who collected it, Jody Broughton. He's a brilliant runner. Just look at the style. His feet bounce off the turf faster than the players around him, and it's got him over the line for the first try.
Yes, he had Joe Mellor bamboozled there, inside out, and then out the outside. Tremendous finish.
Second quarter of this first period then, and Catalan in the shape of Carney received the restart. This is Casti now.
Get up, mate.
More trouble for the Vikings. They concede another penalty. Well, you were mentioning that the momentum seemed to have shifted in favour of the Dragons. They've come up with that 4-pointer. Sensational try it was as well. And these penalties that Widnes are conceding, a sign of a shift perhaps in this first period as we enter the halfway period.
Well, you're right, Ben, but the problem is that Widnes was in a very good attacking position, and it again, just a silly offload, trying to force the pass. You know, sometimes it's better just to build the foundation, stay down in that red zone, and apply that kick and make sure that the pressure is on.
3, 2, move!
Quick play of the balls down for the French side. They're rolling on the back of it.
Here is the kick. Going to be too strong.
Yeah, a bit of a wasted effort. And again, it's you know, I often wonder why they don't take too much option about, instead of kicking it dead in goal, you know, kick it into the corner, apply the turn the opposition around and around. That was a wasted effort,
particularly in these conditions.
Hold here, Julian. Hold.
Thompson with the ball for the Vikings. Was that forward to Whitley? Crowd certainly thinks so.
Nice offload from Whitley. He's been a great player for Widnes this year. Oh, but a risky pass that Runciman just luckily gets his hands on. Referee's blown his whistle. He says it's a penalty.
It's a flop.
Was completed.
Yeah, the one came in very late. Brown flips it away. Not the best pass from Brown, and Broughton at him. And yeah, it was just a flop. Why on earth do they do that? They just lose control. Get the marbles sorted out up in the brain box.
Move, Justin.
Yeah, Matt Whitley, the former Vikings under-19 skipper, of course, been a real plus for Dennis Betts this season.
Picked up and almost turned, isn't it? In that tackle, they've been penalised for that a few times this season. The Dragons need to be careful with the technique.
Short ball from Brown. Lloyd White under the tackle there.
Justin.
Justin Horrow.
Square. Hold. Go.
Heromaya introduced for the Vikings. Mellor with the pass for Kevin Brown, and Brown's pass doesn't stick. Stefan Marsh can't hold that. And now Fouad Yaha launches the counter for the Catalan Dragons. There's space on this near side as well. Great flick. Champagne stuff. Picks out Benjamin Garcia.
Well, again, you can see that Widnes was trying to split them out wide. Kevin Brown, not only first receiver on that occasion, took it on the second. It wasn't a bad pass to Marsh. They really get it, but it's really becoming irritating, especially for the coach Dennis Betts. They get in a good position and they're losing possession.
Gregory Muniz also on from the substitutes bench for Lauren Freycinou. Felicie spinning, gets the ball away.
Who was the Widnes player, Paul?
That's Tony Gigot.
3, release, Aaron! Hold your head. Go.
White with the tackle. Here is Pelissier.
Foot. Move.
Jeremiah with some good defence for the Vikings. Now Glenn Stewart tries to bump off a couple, but Whitney sticks to the task.
Stand. Go.
Last one coming up then for the Catalan Dragons, 22 metres or so away from that Widnes line. The kick is a teasing one, and Thompson, well, has he got it? Has he not got it? Justin Horrow was hunting the 4-pointer, and has he been awarded the try by the video official Phil Bentham? It's no try on the field.
Boy, what a beautiful kick from Thomas Bosk, and I think this is a try. This is a try in my book.
I'm surprised they've not checked to see whether the players are onside, Mike. Yeah, that's the first thing I thought, that the left centre.
No, I think they're all right, Phil.
Vincent Duport, to me, well, it's again impossible because you've not got the camera on line with the kicker, but...
Well, this is definitely a TRY as far as I'm concerned. He's failed to take it on the full, he's dragged it backwards, and he's just poached it. This should be given. I don't think he's put the ball down there, Thompson. It's in as though he's put the ball down and made it dead in goal. That's what they're probably looking at. That's gone bad, and he's missed it, and that is not.
Has he grounded it on the line at any point with his upper body or torso? That was, I think, what the referee thought had happened. And I agree with you, Mike. I don't think it had. That's another 4 points.
I think so, yeah. And as far as I'm concerned, Justin Horrow should be given the TRY. There's no way in the world that can be classified as making sure that he's put it. His hand's coming away, the right hand. It comes behind him, and Mr. Horrow says, I will have the 4. And no doubt, an easy kick to turn from 4 into 6. They've taken control of the Catalan side.
Horror show for Thompson.
Bring him with you.
7 in 10 for Justin Horrow, and possibly a double-digit lead for the Catalan Dragons in a minute when this kick goes over.
And another example of how, if you place those accurate kicks in land from the wingers, it makes them have to more difficult. He's travelled for the ball here. Thomas Bosk puts it closer to the goalpost than the corner post, and it's been impossible for Thompson to get to. And an essential 6 points here, I think, here now. A significant one in this match, you get the feeling, at this part of the game.
Surely a formality for Thomas Bosk.
But again, your mind has to go back to the fact that Widnes were in a very good attacking position, and what do they do yet again? They lose possession. They just cannot build. We keep saying you need the foundation. If you're going to come away with any sort of points at all, you've got to be calm, cool and collected. I'm afraid that Widnes are just trying to panic, keep this ball alive, and Catalans have now taken absolute full control.
Tries in 3 straight games last month for Justin Horrow before he was shut out against the Vikings. He's righted that particular wrong now. As you see the conditions in Perpignan. Beautiful day, and the sun shining on Laurent Freyssinou just at the moment. Bosk unsuccessful with his first attempt, trying to improve that try from Jody Broughton a few minutes ago. It's a far more straightforward angle for him. 2 more points, and Catalan Dragons lead by 10 points to 0.
Well, he's put the kick over for the 2 points. He's put the kick in that's created the try as well here. Just look how Thompson initially looked to see whether any of his teammates had it covered, and then he set off an accelerator but couldn't get there in time. He's now ironically the man who's going to kick off and restart this play. Jody Broughton's had some attention there, perhaps injuring the head as he grounded that wonderful try in the corner.
Well, it must be irritating for coach Dennis Betts. Remember, Widnes in the 5 seasons in Super League, they have never won down here in Perpignan, and unless they buck up their ideas, that will continue on.
Move! Hold it,
Catalan also averaged 43 points a game against the Widnes Vikings.
Well, they're the 3rd best try scorers in Super League. It's amazing you forget that, and we've disregarded them as a threat this year. Only Warrington and Castleford have been able to score more tries in the 23 rounds we've had. Their attack's been brilliant, but they've not been able to complement that with any sort of defence or, I think, consistency over long periods of time in matches. They switch on and off quicker than other teams.
4, move Lloyd! back here.
4 gone for the Catalan Dragons as Pelissier moves in. Across the halfway line and then dumped unceremoniously back into his own half is Todd Carney by opposite number Kevin Brown there.
Well, what's the penalty for? It's fascinating. Is that deemed a shoulder charge?
Well, that's what he's given. He's given the signal to it. It's a bit of a grin on the face of Todd Carney from Brown. Well, he turns his body, but I think he also has the right arm across his chest. Either way, Catalan will not be arguing the point.
One line move back here.
Gregory Muniz for the Dragons. Great field position for Lauren Freysinu's side again. Left-hand side. In the shape of Julien Bousquet, who's been impressive since his introduction from the substitutes bench, the 9-time French international. Bosque, Stewart delays the ball superbly at the line. Tony Gigot wrestled to the ground by Whitley in the nick of time. 2 minutes short of the half-hour mark. Widnes on the rack.
I can't hear you, sorry.
Penalty awarded here.
Ball's come out, we can't play on.
The ball's come out. He's given a penalty now. Was it not a knock on then? Decided a penalty.
That's the mark.
More pressure for the Widnes Vikings, I should say, to withstand.
Matt, I need a yard.
It's a massive 60 seconds here. The Vikings have to haul them out.
The way this game is shaping up, you have to agree with that as Bettieri dives into the heart of that Widnes Vikings defence. Dropped off by Carney.
Again, you can see them coming back on the inside. It looks as though they might be going for a run from dummy half. No, it's a short pass.
That was Justin Horrow. And then the dummy from Gigot, metres short. Only 3 gone though for the Dragons. Picked up on the bounce untidily by Muniz. But then Bousquet with a brilliant bit of go forward, but in trying to promote the ball, that attack comes to nothing for the Dragons. Widnes just about survived, and as you say, Phil, they had to.
Yeah, well, they're just trying to offload it. Okay, there's one thing being confident, but trying to just get the nearly impossible offload. I mean, it was good work by Bousquet, but as you can see, there was no chance that he could get that ball. Too much pressure applied.
Let's get bounding.
You can see quite clearly that the heat down there, Phil, is taking its effect.
It seems to have that effect as this man's about to enter the field. Paul Ayton's going to come on. He's been on, sitting, waiting nervously, patiently on the sideline for 30 minutes. But he wants to come on and prove, I think, to this whole competition and his supporters there in Perpignan that he can add some quality and provide some real value for money. You know, I think Widnes have defended pretty well for half an hour. The 2 tries they've conceded, one was from a kick, the other one was the wonderful runaway break. But when they've been under pressure on their own line, they've not really looked that threatened.
No, and I suppose that Dennis Betts will be looking at that and saying, well, it was 2 errors that allowed us to give the opposition those 2 tries.
Is that Reece Hambry again? Is it the second time he's stayed down after being involved in a tackle?
Yeah, he goes in awkward, and they spin him, and I think the weight of his...
Jason Bettieri, is it the 3rd defender in who just makes some contact there on his head and just knocks his maybe neck to the side?
Yeah, I think the hip has made contact. Fortunately, it looks as though Hambry's going to be A-OK. Perhaps just winded. Not surprising with the weight that came on top on the difficult angle. It was a good hit by Horrow to start with, but you can see that the loose forward certainly made contact. Well, they're taking the safety first route. They'll have him checked out. He's obviously not 100%.
Tackle 4.
Talking of 100, this will be the moment. Paul Ayton will make his 100th appearance in the British game. Such a key strike player, though, Reece Hambry for the Vikings. Averages better than a try every other game for Widnes. That would be a huge blow for Dennis Betts were he not to be able to continue.
Well, they do have the advantage, I suppose. Corey Thompson will probably drop to fullback, which is where he played 2 weeks ago as Chris Houston comes back on when Widnes last won against the Catalan Dragons. So Thompson's preferred position perhaps is in that fullback role. We'll get to see just how good he can be.
Well, that's a good kick into the corner. The chase is excellent.
A good option from Joe Mellor on the last.
Now it's important now that the Vikings make sure that the home side don't go anywhere near the halfway line. It's always a positive. When you keep the opposition down, it turns them into a negative.
Hold, go off the mark, play on.
Broughton played the ball.
Three,
Manakafoa
move, get square.
leading the
Wait.
defensive charge for the Vikings on Vincent Duport. Muniz in quickly.
Ball, Matt, release the
Busquets.
ball. Hold, go.
Got Louis Anderson now on off the subs bench again. They've waited for half an hour to introduce some big guns.
And on the last, Thomas Bosch goes for touch on that far side, and Corey Thompson well positioned.
Surrender. Hold here, hold, go.
Widnes though struggling
Two, move, Paul.
to move into
Hold
that
here.
Catalan Dragons half of the
Hold.
field. It's good defence from the
Wait.
Dragons. Marsh is
The calls,
tackled.
Paul.
And you can see they're very, very quick out of the blocks.
Three,
Something that they've lacked over the past few weeks.
Hold.
Been very, very poor in that defensive effort, but obviously Lauren Fresno has been working hard on that
Ball,
off the
Louis,
pitch.
move. Square, Julian.
They're
Diving.
quite happy
Go.
with the score line at 10-0. Oh,
Huge
Boy,
hit there
take
from
that.
Justin Horrow. Wow.
Well, Joe Mellor's probably the bravest player Widnes have got, and maybe the best individual runner here in that centre of the field. He hasn't been able to break through the line, and Kevin Brown kicks it downfield for a 30 or 40 metre gain.
On the last tackle as Fuad Yaha runs it back, and Brown it was coming in for the tackle. Crowd didn't like that.
yeah, just pulled out at the last minute, but he still made contact. More of a slap, not a fist, that's for sure.
Two, move, Chris.
He just realised at the last minute, I think, that Kevin Brown had better just ease off. That's good running. Oh, he's
what
lost
a
possession.
tackle
What a
again
hit.
by Lloyd White.
Yeah, he's worked overtime. That's one of his specialities, is White.
On his opposite number, of course, he will have seen him preparing to come on, and the first contribution that Paul Ayton makes, courtesy of Lloyd White's tackle, is to knock on and give possession back to the Widnes Vikings.
Well, that's the advantage, with Dennis Betts. He realises that now with Corey Thompson gone back into that full-back position, Thompson can link into the three-quarter line. We saw him on that occasion. He's very dangerous when he runs off the two half-backs.
Surrender. Two.
Joe Mellor
Go.
thought about the offload, took the tackle. Brown trying to measure the kick to this near side and bounces over Broughton's head.
Hey.
Patrick Alvan almost went in the corner.
Go.
And they've still got tackles in the back. They want the quick play of the ball.
Charlie Runciman is
Runciman is held up.
Good positioning there by Robert Hicks, had to be as well.
It's on his leg. Four. Tackle four.
Well, a golden opportunity. They were very slow to get their first and second marker. Quick thinking from dummy half, but you can see quite
Get
clearly.
square in that area. Get
Good
square.
position by Hicks, the official. Still an opportunity.
Go.
Absolutely, the threat not gone as far as Widnes Vikings are concerned. Manakafoa centrally for Joe Mellor.
Aye.
High shot comes in from Justin Horrow.
It's a grab.
More pressure coming up for the men from Perpignan.
High. Go.
And quick tap, get on with it. And that's the best way to do it. That's a good run there.
One.
Manakafoa.
Release. Goal line. Goal line.
And the Tongan international
Hold.
ramps it up for the Vikings,
Hold.
2 metres away. Jeremiah. Brown is going to pick his way to the line there.
Help.
Enveloped by
Release.
4 Catalan
Hold.
defenders.
Go.
Jeremiah. Manakafoa.
Well, they pulled out of that. It was a planned move. And when the ball came back on the inside from Jeremiah, he really should have gone at full belt. He just seemed to stop.
Move.
Howson is stopped
Gotta
by
be a-
Bosch, and it's a penalty Widnes.
Well, I think it's get to a point now that referee Hicks surely has to issue some sort of a warning, because the Catalan side have been doing that quite often.
One. Get out, Louis. Get
And not
square.
allowing
Goal
Widnes
line,
to play the ball
correct.
quickly. You can see it again.
Go. Gotta square
Inside
up,
the last
Louis
5
there.
minutes, first half. Widnes desperate to get on the board. Lloyd White.
Time off.
Is it Jeremiah who's got over?
It looks like it. He's got the try.
In, please.
It was quick thinking. Jeremiah, I think, has gone right underneath. Throws the dummy. They had the numbers. I think he gets it down. Oh, has he lost it? Good position again by Robert Hicks, the official. But I think he may have lost this,
puts the ball onto his arm, which seems to be on the line.
It may be short, Phil.
Yeah, I'm saying he doesn't put the ball on the floor. He puts it onto his left arm, I think, with his right hand. And then as it rolls over and rotates, he seems to lose possession. But at what point?
He's short there and has lost possession. That's no try. It was a good effort from the substitute, Jeremiah. But surely this has got to be turned down. Phil Bentham, video referee.
Needs to just do it slowly here, don't they, to convince themselves here, because the referee has awarded a try, Mike. Got to be convinced this isn't one.
Yeah,
is the conclusive proof there?
Yeah, he's short and lost possession. Simple.
Just about to find out. Confirmed by the video official Phil Bentham.
20, mate.
Jeremiah denied.
Well, games have turning points, and I've got a feeling that could be a significant one, because
let's go.
They got the feeling they'd had the 4th consecutive set of possession, the 3rd on their opponent's try line. They needed somebody to find a way over the line, but when he did, they couldn't quite ground it. Now then, have they turned it up in defence? They have. They've got another chance.
Oh, that was very sloppy at a time when you needed to just put the ball at the jumper and take safety first. They a little bit too expansive there, I'm afraid. Catalan. Isn't it amazing how this game could have just changed? Remember, early in the game, Thompson had the try disallowed.
Come on, let's get in.
Jeremiah also got the same decision from the video referee. So they're not out of it at all. Even though they're 10 points down.
Heads in now.
Yeah, Phil Bentham busy in this first period. 2 have been allowed to stand, 2 denied.
Who's going where?
And Widnes now with another chance to get on the board before the interval. You do feel psychologically that could be crucial for the Widnes Vikings. Runciman to the left-hand side.
Move, Todd. Here we go. Hold. Hold, go.
Patrick Arvan moves in. That's Whitley. And now Manika Foa drives that Catalan defensive line back again. Muniz with the tackle.
Wait.
6 metres away, the Vikings. Brown. Some good hands to find Mellor. Thompson. Christine. Great stop from Vincent Duport.
Square.
Snuffed out the danger. Marsh. Now it's Houston.
Move, Louis, get square.
Already 4 gone for the Widnes Vikings.
Go.
Good defence so far this set from the Catalan Dragons. What have the Vikings got left? Lloyd White it is.
Nice crisscross, came on the angle, but the defence was pretty solid.
Last chance coming up for the Vikings. Jeremiah bullets the pass into Houston.
That'll be classified as a knock-on. Well, another wasted opportunity. How many times have Widnes been in such a commanding position and then just squandered that opportunity?
Might get another, Mike. No, they won't. It's a penalty and a relief, I think, here. The Catalan Dragons player has been held back in going for possession. And I don't think it surprised me, though, that the Dragons would ply hard and defend well here today. They realised their season was falling fast, wasn't it? Centellas had overtaken them on the league table, and a lot of people started to write them off. You know, in the Super 8, it's the first 3 rounds of that you need to show any real indication, particularly for the Dragons, if they wanted to keep in touch with the top 4. They have to start this mini-tournament well.
I am that counts, mate.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And of course, Widnes, if they virtually lose today, it's virtually impossible for them to make the 4th position.
He's not played it.
Looks like a forward pass.
1 minute, Ben.
Well, I must say that late in the game, the heat is a factor. We know that, and it really should come as that was a little knock-on as far as they were concerned.
Heads in.
So another chance for the Vikings to trouble the scoreboard before the break. Good position for Dennis Betts' side. Good ball from Kevin Brown. Good space for Patrick Arvan. Arvan is quick. Good defence, though. Really good defence. How are they're going to put him over the sideline as well. Well, that was absolutely sensational defence from the Catalan Dragons. It looked for a moment as if Arvan was going to go in. They said, there's no way you're going to pass. And as a bonus, they've got him in touch as well.
But why on earth did he not just continue on to the corner? He's such a big unit.
Look at that. He's the man who made the mistake, Julien Busquet. This is a team that have not given up in 2016 here. He's made a mistake on one side of the field. He was involved in the scrum, and he was quick enough to get across the field and help hit the winger and send him over the sideline.
Yeah, that's sheer upper body strength as well. I mean, but I'm really surprised. That was one of the best handling movements we've seen from Widnes tonight.
He wasn't going to make it, though. I don't think he was going to make it, and he didn't want to risk on the first play being pushed over the sideline, which is where he ended up.
No, I would have gone for it. He's got the speed, he's got the power.
Let's get bound in, boys, please.
Laurent Fresnedou looks angry, but he must be pleased with the contribution of Julien Busquet. The Dragons only ever present in 25 League and Cup this year. It's been immense since his introduction.
Well, he's saying, just patch him up. Let him get on with it. Patch him up. In French, of course.
Yeah, the Dragons' last 5 rounds a disaster, really, after that top 4 spot. Look nailed on. 5 straight defeats, coupled with 5 successive wins for St Helens. So the Dragons enter this competition, the Super 8, in 5th position, crucially.
Well, Fresnedou has got the message out. Remember, the last time that Catalan had possession, they tried to be too smart, keep the ball alive. It's just up the jumper time to the halfway line, though that's a good play, and then they're panicking. Why on earth? Why would Yaha do that? They're leading 10-0. They're lucky to get away with it. That was a shocking offload.
They've got 6 more tackles. Whether they've got time for 6 more tackles is another matter. As we approach the last 20 seconds of this first period, Boss gets the ball from his bootlaces, finds Carney. That's a lovely pass there for Jody Broughton. Jody Broughton's through a couple. Jody Broughton, is he going to score? It's another sensational try. He's spilled the ball. Whitley picks it up.
0, move, Glenn.
Well, we usually get high-scoring games when we tune in and watch the Catalan Dragons. You follow them at all, you know that there's thrills and spills.
Is there time for Runciman to play the ball? There isn't. Catalan Dragons ahead, 2 tries to 0 at the break. They lead at half-time by 10 points to 0.
So that's right, it is half-time here in the south of France, and the Catalan Dragons lead the Widnes Vikings 10-0. A sensational try from Jody Broughton on 19 minutes. He's not
since their Super League return. Catalan in the box seat to halve the 4-point gap on St Helens in the race for that crucial top 4 spot. Jody Broughton lit up that first period, Steve-O, with that try.
Yeah, it certainly did. He got this pace, but you know, Dennis Betts won't be too, well, let's say, disappointed. Okay, the 10 points adrift. They've had 2 opportunities, both of them being turned down by the video referee. And I mentioned early in the game that maybe the interchange between Kevin Brown and Joe Mellor, we haven't seen much from the halfbacks. They're not trying to get the ball out wide, and if you're going to beat this Catalan outfit, you've got to start playing out wide in the centres.
Yeah, the Vikings 10 adrift on this particular scoreboard and 10 points adrift of St Helens in that crucial 4th spot as well. They're in possession, though, first up in this second half in the shape of McGrath Luluai there.
Greg, be splitter. Hold, go. Play on.
Herumaya brings in Manaka Foa.
Ball, move. Hold here. Wait, go.
Hot conditions continue in Perpignan, and the conservation of energy will be crucial again in this second 40.
Square.
And again we see Widnes just trying to plough down the middle. This will be the kick from Brown. It's on the last. It's not the best, though. Yaha fumbled. That's a good chase, though. That'll lift their spirits. They need it.
It was McGrath Luluai who came in with the tackle, but they were hunting as a pack there, the Vikings. And they've gained some real field position. The Dragons only 15 metres away from their own line. Heromaya leads one of 4 initial tacklers there for the Widnes Vikings. Broughton in defence, well, in attack I should say, but far deeper. Similar position really for where he actually scored that try in the first period. In terms of deep in his own half. Muniz. Good work from Ayton, relishing his return.
Both of the sides have stayed pretty central, haven't they, in the opening 2 minutes of this game here. Not taking too many risks or throwing too many passes. All about trying to buy territory and get to the other end of the field here. The Vikings, although they didn't score in the first half, it's less than 2 weeks since they last met the Dragons. They scored 5 tries on that occasion. They do know They can find their way over the line, but they haven't so far, and they probably need to improve because this Dragons outfit do look like a different team than the one we've seen in the last few weeks.
Well, the one thing they're doing better is, of course, their defence.
Calm down, Paul.
As I say, they've been very slipshod in that department over the few weeks. Been a real turnaround. It looks as though they were going to be odds on to make that top 4. Now they're struggling, but they're 10 points in front.
Move, Todd. Get square.
32 points to 4 in Widnes' favour just a couple of weeks ago.
Move. That's last.
Last one coming up as Whitley will play the ball just inside the Catalan Dragons half of the field. Brown to Mellor. Closed down quickly. Got a good kick away though.
It's a great kick, Ben. Not a good one. Whoa, what's going to happen? Oh, he's tackled him in the air. Got injured in the result as well. Christine. Well,
yeah, he went down awkward.
He's underneath him, isn't he? I don't think he's actually tackled him. Yaha's landed on Dean.
As long as it's safe.
Oh, I think his knee bent back very badly. That might be the most dangerous injury here for Christine.
I think the
right knees go underneath his body, don't they?
Not only that, I think the hip or the knee makes contact with the face. Ooh, this could be a double whammy.
The ball's bounced.
Certainly took a heavy knock.
Yeah, once the ball was bounced,
as you say, Phil, the legs went underneath, but I think it's the impact. Either the thigh or the knee went straight into the face.
And Yahaz, we've seen, although he's only young, he's a very powerful player. One of those old-fashioned wingers with powerful hips.
He's huge.
If he lands in a dangerous position, in my opinion,
There is Bernard Gouache.
He lands dangerously, but
watching
not
on.
your man. He's the key.
The Catalan chairman.
Hasn't been in a good mood over the past few weeks, but maybe a smile may just crack eventually. They've been desperate to get these 2 points.
In my opinion, he's safe. If it's dangerous, I penalise. But I think that's safe. Are you all right?
Christine stood up.
A black head and a bad head. A black eye and a bad head.
Mate, I think your tackle's here. So yeah, just wait for me, please. All right.
Well, they're doing the safety first thing, and they'll have him checked out. But it's not what they wanted. Their coach, Dennis Betts.
That's the second player they've lost now, haven't they, to a head injury. We saw Reece Hamry go off in the first half. Now they've lost Christine, one of the best players who can play the forwards and the backs. But they needed 17 fit and strong men here to try and win in France. It's going to get even more difficult.
This is where it's important that the Vikings really get their defence rugged, and that's good. Look, they're allowing them, they're forcing Catalan into one-out rugby league. That's what you need in your defence.
Here's Paul Ayton. Urgency from him. Pulled down by Jeremiah. Todd Carney waits. Shift it to the left-hand side. Bosk. Something here perhaps for the Dragons. Duport. Important tackle from Whitley. Untidy play the ball. Referee's patience holds. For now, Yaha is scranked down by Houston. And that is the turnover, so Widnes will pick up possession inside the Catalan half of the field.
Well, Catalan lost the plot completely there. They needed a kick, and I'm afraid that the big winger perhaps didn't realise.
The other thing that strikes me, Mike, is that Widnes are working so hard in defence that there's very little energy left here to attack. Although here they go, they shift the ball.
Yeah, Mellor finds Brown. Good ball at the line for McGrath Luluai, still going.
Well, I keep mentioning the fact that pushed Kevin Brown as a second receiver. We saw it on that occasion, and they were a lot more fluid. Mellor taking first receiver. Brown is such a wonderful organiser.
Manakafo plays the ball. This now is Jack Buchanan. Featured in the last 9 since arriving on the 18-month deal from West Tigers. Left-hand side, Brown back on the inside, Mellor. Shot out to the line to Justin Horrow to close that play down. Plays the ball for Jeremiah. Brown, lovely little kick, and it's pinched by White. He can't get over though.
Well, that was a tremendous little move, wasn't it, by Kevin Brown? Just a little dink and then put the kick through. White thought he was over. This is great defence. Look at this, hold him up. 4 in attendance.
Well, they're not renowned for defensive players either, the Catalan Dragons. In the 10-year history, they've scored some fantastic tries. They've had some remarkable players. But it's not been the defensive wall that people have come to know. But today here now, They've kept the opponent scoreless for 45 minutes, and they've looked as though they intend to do that for not just the rest of this game, but the rest of the season, with the effort and intensity to prevent the opposition from scoring.
Widnes trying to construct their own wall. Four tackles I should say, gone for Catalan Dragons. Muniz with a good offload though to find Thomas Bosk in space. Bosk gets away from a couple. It's been some typical footwork. 33 yesterday, Thomas Bosk.
Not played at. Not last.
Little bit of turnover.
Last tackle, the referee screaming at the Dragons. Todd Carney in particular. That is with the ball, and so it's going to be the turnover, and Widnes will pick up possession in a minute.
Well, I'll be disappointed with that, Todd Carney. He wanted to punch that ball right into the corner.
Okay, Matty,
he just caught one of the players, bounced back on the... And it was a good defence. And it needs to be, but as I say, they've got to be a little bit more adventurous now, Widnes. Plenty of time on the clock.
Manakafoa wrestled to the ground by 3 Dragons defenders.
Wait, hold, go.
5 metres short of that halfway line. Brown delayed the ball. Thompson, Corey Thompson, it's the ball away back for Brown, and now Runciman on the left-hand side. Runciman trying to create an angle really for Patrick Arvan. He's done really well, Patrick Arvan. He's still going, he's got support on the inside as well. Joe Mellor it was. What an important tackle that was from Julien Bousquet. How long can they hold the Vikings out? It's Brown. He's going to kick to the right-hand side. It's a wonderful kick. It's a superb try from Matt Whitley, is it? Whitley surely has got the 4-pointer. They're going to check it though. He could have been offside. Try on the field.
Brilliant play from the Vikings for the defence for the last few minutes to force a chance to have some possession in their opponent's half. And then here now, the attacking play with Mellor down the left. And the vision and kick from Brown was excellent. Was Whitley onside? He does well to collect it and ground it before getting over the dead ball line.
Well, he's very fast if he's got to this.
Well, the best man really was the touch judge who was just outside him, wasn't he? I think he was in a great position. He has no problem with it at all. That angle won't show as much.
Well, I'm not saying that Whitley hasn't got the speed of Usain Bolt, but I tell you what, he appears pretty quickly out there. They may get away with this. You can see the touch judge there. He's not going onto a position to say that you better go upstairs. Boy, he was fast if he's got he's got there in time, as a lot of forwards will say. I got there eventually. I tried my best.
They're looking at the grounding. Try's been given on the field, remember. And the try is confirmed by the video official Phil Bentham. Widnes right back in this match. Matt Whitley, a substitute in last Easter's loss here. He was simbing for a late tackle on Scott Giroux on that occasion. Happier memories in 2016 for Matt Whitley, the former Vikings under 19 skipper, I should say. His 4th Super League try this season, and Widnes right back in this match.
Well, we said they had to keep the ball alive, and that's what they did. They had to be a lot more adventurous, and it was a neat little kick from Kevin Brown in the end. But boy, oh boy, is he that fast, Whitley? Either way, Dennis Betts will not be complaining, and this is a pressure kick. They need the extra 2 points.
What a bonus this could be if Lloyd White can turn 4 into 6 here. Similar angle to Thomas Bosk's in the first half. He has achieved those 2 points, and Widnes cut the gap to 4.
Well, there was good play on the left-hand side of the field when Patrick Arvan cut inside, and he looked to link up with the best support player the Vikings have, Joe Mellor, but he was cut down and trapped by Julien Bousquet, the big front rower, and then it came from another kick. Kevin Brown's one for Matt Whitley. He's got to be a contender for Young Player of the Year. I'm sure he'll make the shortlist anyway. Only 20 years of age. He's been sensational this year. And then the conversion. A wonderful kick there from Lloyd White. When you think that the Vikings have struggled a little bit with kicks, and Corey Thompson struggled with that one too.
How many times do we see that? They're basking in the glory of getting back and scoring the try, and then they come up with the error. There's no doubt about it. He's lost control, and that'll be classified as a knock-on.
Remember, it was Corey Thompson who fumbled in the build-up to Justin Horrow's try in that first period. Similar mishandling, misfielding, I suppose you could call it, as gifted
It's here, boys.
Catalans some possession here.
He is good. Let's get back.
Well, it's a real boost, isn't it, for
We'll
the
need
home
one here,
outfit
boys. Let's get in.
to be able to get possession so close to the line.
Real opportunity then for the Catalan Dragons. Short ball picked up brilliantly by Stewart. Eye-catching player. Every time he gets involved in the attack, Glenn Stewart.
And there seemed some confusion there. They looked lost, didn't they?
Yeah, they were very slow. I mean, if you're going to go with the big forward, you've got to have them running onto the ball. You can see he was just standing still. They need to be deeper, and you know, the likes of Todd Carney, Thomas Boss, they've got enough experience to be able to say, come on, run onto the damn thing.
Not a lot of organisation so far. This is better though from the Dragons, and the space for Fuad Yaha in the corner. Well, Widnes go over through Matt Whitley, and immediately in the blink of an eye, the Catalan Dragons hit back in the shape of Fuad Yaha. His 6th Super League try of the season, tries in 7 of his last 8 now.
Well, this was wonderful play. The ball out wide, they just had the numbers in the overlap over there, but yet again Dennis Betts will be saying we made an error. Remember the kickoff, Thompson spilt it, gave them the opportunity. Beautiful pass, you can see that the wing had out of place, and the big fella gets into the corner. Yaha!
A week short of his 20th birthday, Fuad Yaha, one of the hottest properties in this Catalan Dragons side. Got a try at Widnes, incidentally, for the under-16s, the French under-16s against England youth back in 2013. Tied to a 3-year deal in Perpignan. Signed that last August. Catalan restore their 2-try cushion.
Well, they're to be happy, and they want Thomas Boss to put 2 more points on. Setting sun here now, the players just sitting back in the shade. Well, they know they're in for a contest. The rest of this game, the Vikings won't go away here, no matter what the score is. They know this is a team that's got some grit in it. He's taking his time here now as he lines up this kick. He knows his team were given that real added boost there, weren't they? The mistake from the kickoff, but there was a wonderful restart which Corey Thompson couldn't deal with. And a sideline attempted conversion here from Thomas Bosk. Pat Richards has done the majority of the goal kicking for the Dragons this year, but only with a 70% success rate, which is a little bit lower than Richards at his very best.
4 tries to 1 winners over Widnes here in April. Currently 3 tries to 1 in the Super 8s. Bosk, as we've become accustomed to, taking his time.
He's had rather restricted game time this year, hasn't he? Lucas Albert's played a lot of scrum half. He's played in 17, 18th, this is his 18th game, is it, this season in Super League, but hasn't spent that long on the field.
This then to restore the 10-point cushion. The Dragons held at half-time. It's a great kick from Thomas Bosk. Dragons ahead by 16 points to 6.
Well, it's a great transfer of the ball from one side of the field to the other. Some good skill. And then I think Widnes with unusual players defending it in unusual positions. Matt Whitley's at centre, Joe Mello was stood on the wing. They couldn't quite cope with the size and power of Vincent Dupont charging at them. Yaha scored in the corner. Great, as I say, exciting young player. Forward to see what he can do the remainder of this season as the kick goes into the corner, but manages to take it on the full by Bosk.
Yeah, it was a good play, wasn't it? And Vincent Dupont, he just drew the man, pulled him into it. It was Whitley, and he pulled away and got the overlap. Good finish.
Dave driven back.
2, release! Hold.
Doesn't happen too often. Heremire it was. And then some room in the middle. Busquets gets a quick play of the ball on the back of that as well, and Catalan look in the mood. Glenn Stewart just about pulled down by Whitley.
But you can see Widnes defence, they're struggling to get them back.
Last.
They really
Move,
are under
Aaron.
the cosh
On the
now.
way.
Moving
Oh,
through the
Chrissy,
gears,
wait,
the Dragons.
wait.
Last one coming up, central
Go.
position. 40 metres or so away.
Charge down.
Charge down of
Back to
Carney's
one.
kick. It's back to one, says the official. Glenn Stewart has the ball. It's a brilliant offer for Casti.
One. Release, Joe.
Boy, hasn't he got through some work, the big prop forward, Casti.
Massive test of the Widnes defence coming up, you feel.
That's a brave effort.
Taylor. Oh, he's put the ball forward there.
Play
What
on.
was he doing there, Dave Taylor? Play on, says the official. Here is Joe Mellor.
One.
Well, they've got a 10-point lead, and what do? You just try to keep this ball alive. When you, I don't know why they can't get the message out. You know, we're controlling this game. Don't panic.
Hold here, hold.
Kangaroo
Wait.
International Dave Taylor. 8
Go.
appearances for Queensland. All the experience in the world. But they do love to throw the ball around, like you say, Steve-O.
Three.
Keeps the
Top
Vikings
move.
hopes
Hope somebody
alive.
else
All the
that.
way here,
Keeps
Remy.
the Vikings
Go.
side alive here in this match, doesn't it? They're 10 points behind, but they're not giving it up, and
4. Move, Remy.
they've just got a chance
Go.
here.
Oh, collision. And two of the Catalan players are down. So they're down to 11, and the official, Robert Hicks, says we better get treatment
Yes.
here.
I think Corey Thompson thought he
It's
ran
his
behind one of
heads,
his
mate. It's the
teammates.
heads. Last tackle.
Dave Taylor and Julien Busquet, who's already split his head once.
And they felt it.
Back your head.
There's some weight in those skulls.
Look at that.
Moving at that speed.
That is awful.
No, mate, he gets tackled in. When he hasn't got your Cahill, he'll leave him
That's
with me.
amazing.
He's on my radar.
Look at that, Dave Taylor.
Cahill here. He's
Is
on
it?
my
I'm all
radar.
right.
Leave him with me. This will be your last.
I'm all right.
Sorry, mate.
I've had heavier ones
I'm
than that.
mumbling, doesn't help. Last, what are you doing now? Oh, he's hurt.
Watch this.
Julian, he needs to check his head. Just check him for
Well,
concussion.
Phil, there
I
are
think.
times when you'd like to play again, and there are times when you're glad you're not playing again.
It looked like an advert for like a shampoo conditioner thing, didn't it, there, where the hair flows back? And
Well, I wouldn't know anything about that, Phil, but
you've watched them on television, haven't you?
too true.
Get tackled. It's Thompson.
Just a reminder of what the players go through playing this game. Latest in the qualifiers, it's
Good
League
try.
8, London 2 as things stand.
Wait, back here. Hold
Meanwhile here,
fast.
a 10-point
Hold
lead, just as it was at the break for the Catalan Dragons. 13 gone second half, and on the last tackle, Widnes hoist the kick.
What now, was just someone taken out late? Now, Robert Hicks looked at the touch judge on this short side. It certainly looked late, but he saw no foul.
Good take from Gigo. Excellent from the fullback again.
Well, this is a good test for the Catalan Dragons. If they're serious about being a top 4 side, they've got to be able to handle this pressure in these situations, and their opponents won't go away. Completing, kicking well into the corners, and they've got to be able to prove that they can control the ball themselves as Benjamin Garcia gets them to the halfway line.
Hold, go.
Last one. Bosk is there. Kick is going to be far too long, but
I don't think
feel
he'd
that he
be
would have settled for that.
Yeah, I don't think he'd be too upset about that, because the one thing that Laurent Fresneau has really instilled into his side, something that's been missing for the last 5-6 weeks, has been this very, very solid defence. You know, they've been caught in the opposition from dummy half. First and second markers have been very poor, but not today. They really have worked overtime.
Glenn, move.
Whitley for the Vikings.
Hold, go.
Jeremiah using the short side for Burke, and now Houston.
3, move, Remy. Hold here, wait. Hold, go.
Brown now. Carvan over
Julian,
halfway.
move. Come on, Ian,
Just
come
about.
on.
That's the last one though for the Widnes Vikings. Mellor. Is it some air to Kevin Brown? What they got on this near side?
Last, move. Come on, please.
The kicks have been good so far in this second half. A lot of Widnesses, they've caused trouble. This one again, high into the sun. The chase is onside and the pressure's on.
A good kick from Kevin Brown, but the chasers never really got there in time to pressure. Tony Gigo does the necessary.
Gigo's had a top game. They really have put him under the caution in regards to the kick, but he's come on trumps on every occasion.
3 great tackles there. They've trapped them down. They've got the Dragons under pressure here. It's a good effort in the defence here to try and win a chance to attack in the next set.
And this is where the composure comes in. Do not get offside. Don't give away a silly penalty. Don't leave the hands in as you're trying to get it. That's a little bit of a high shot there.
Even Taylor repelled by Burke, and then the knock-on comes, and Widnes get the reward for their endeavours. Here is Houston now, inside the Catalan half.
Pelissier tried to get the kick away, completely missed it. Real air shot.
Oh, Cahill's put the ball down.
It's a knock-on.
All that work achieved by Widnes, and then they surrender possession.
Paul Leighton there seems to be checked by the doctor. Not sure he's okay, he's happy. Pelissier was the one who got in that tackle and forced the ball free here.
That was a high shot though, Phil, and it has not been seen. Cahill looked at the official. He caught a real swinger right into the mush.
Right, okay, let's get in, boys.
Aiton's last appearance, incidentally, also came against Widnes.
Discipline, boys.
Here in April, he was substituted at 21 points to 8 win.
Let's stay on where we are.
It's been a nightmare, hasn't it, for Paul Aiton? He really has gone through the horrors regards to injury.
Greg Burke's out early.
Greg Burke, judged to have broken from the scrum early.
Well, Widnes can win this match. They've obviously got to score 2 tries, but it's more important that they prevent their opponents from scoring. Here the ball comes free from the screen. I think it's a mistake by the officials. The ball's already out. But,
I'm with you, Phil. That's pedantic. I mean, they don't even push these days. They just lean against it. How on earth they can give a penalty on it? Oh, good offload.
Taylor for Pelissier. Pelissier still going. Just about repelled by Herremeier in the nick of time. Only 2 gone for the Catalan Dragons. They're only 2 metres away. Casti tries to throw the dummy. Doesn't elude Jack Buchanan. He's still going though.
What a captain's knock. Casti has been outstanding.
Pelissier on the back of that. Space for Bousquet. Great offload.
Great tackle there. I think it was Chris Helston.
Casti asked to get involved again so quickly. Boss with a superb kick. Yaha! He's managed to get it down. Oh, sensational second try from Ford Yaha. 2 in this second period. Back-to-back tries for the 19-year-old. So they're mentioning him for the Catalan Dragons. And for the first time in this match, real daylight between the Catalan Dragons and the Widnes Vikings.
Well, a lot of people criticise Thomas Bosch, but he has the quality and he knows it. He may not have the speed, but he certainly has the nous. And the kick into the corner is out of this world, and what a good take. Second try for the youngster. They kept the ball alive, and then the kick.
Well, he's built like Billy Boston, and he's developing a reputation for himself in the south of France. A wonderful score, just in the right place at the right time. Able to pick up the ball and put it over the line here. And that's such a tragedy really for Widnes. They'd worked so hard to prevent the Dragons from scoring, but a touch of class there from Thomas Bosch has been the difference between these teams.
And Phil, there was a time a couple of years ago where he wasn't the favourite number halfback, Thomas Bosch. A lot of people thought perhaps that he was past his best, but when you've got brains like that on the field of play, I mean, on 2 occasions, that there have been 2 superb kicks to create a try.
I would guess he's the 3rd choice scrum half behind Richard Myler and Lucas Albert, who's played for the last few weeks as well, hasn't he? So he's doing pretty well, isn't he? And maybe that's the reason why he's so highly motivated and willing to demonstrate just what skill he's got.
2 good ones last
He's done the majority of the kicking, and for me, he's had a far more influential impact on the Dragons than Todd Carney, the more high-profile standoff.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that, and he really has been a stalwart for this French outfit.
That's right, Steve-O. 11 seasons in Perpignan. The club record point scorer, 1,364 points he's amassed now. Real servant to this great club, and closing in on a nice belated birthday celebration. 33 yesterday, as I mentioned. Perfect way to end his celebrations. And 2 more points from the touchline. 22 points to 6 now in favour of the Catalan Dragons.
Yeah, beautiful play. He gets the man away, and his support play. Look how he looked out of the corner of his eye and thought, well, there's a youngster there. He could be in for his second try. What a great effort. He's a star for the future, this fella. Gets through his work in defence as well.
4 tries to 1 here in April. 4 tries to 1 in the Super 8s.
Go on, move, Chris. Hold now.
30 seconds short to the hour mark.
We've seen big game swings, haven't we, this season? 22-6, sometimes becomes 22-24. But it's going to be a massive task for Widnes to try and do that here. The opponents seem so highly motivated. They've restarted the season, and there's a great offload there, although the ball's gone to ground, and they've given Widnes a chance.
Well, we know they like to play the offload, but that really, must confuse the Catalan coach. You've got a 22-6 lead, and okay, you can say we can be adventurous, but not when you're 20 metres from your own line.
Lead pegged back in the qualifiers, 8-all against the London Broncos now. Meanwhile, Runciman for the Widnes Vikings. An hour gone in Perpignan. Plenty of work for the visitors to do. Runciman plays the ball. Here is Kevin Brown. Drops the ball off for Jack Buchanan.
3, move, Jason. Come on, you just. Well, mate, wait.
Lloyd White.
Sorry,
now
Ben.
Brown.
The big question is, do they have the energy, Widnes?
They might have here. It's Corey Thompson, one of the fastest men on the field.
They've had to do so much defensive work. This will lift the spirits. Can they strike back? There's still plenty of time.
Urgent pass from Whitley. Mellor with a good kick, but it's taken on the full, or taken really well, I should say, by Tony Gigot.
Yeah, great position by the fullback.
Move, Chris. Back here, hold.
Good work, taking away the responsibility from the forwards. That really is good thinking. 2 runs straight from the dummy half position. They're in a good now. They'll get over the halfway line, and then they'll get the kick. Surely, make sure it gets over the whitewash.
Really appreciated by the teammates in these conditions as well. Inside the Widnes half of the field now, the Catalan Dragons. Justin Horror.
Nearly went behind one of his players and perhaps could have risked obstruction.
Thomas Boss, was he taken late? The crowd seems to suggest so.
Well, I did request that it goes over the whitewash, but I'm not so sure I was thinking about the dead in goal line. Into the corner and get the scrum down.
Patrick Arban for the Vikings. Into the waiting arms of Elwa Policier. Good hit again on Buchanan.
It's a fine line you've got to play, isn't it, when you're 22 points to 6 behind, between taking some risks and controlling the ball. Not every team can always get that right, but 1-8 single carries won't obviously win you the game. At some point you have to find a player with an offload, a pass or a risk and some speed, and they're going here now on the outside.
Great flick, and Whitley with some space on his near side. Cuts back inside impressively as well, the youngster.
He's lost it. He has lost that. What a big hit by Dave Taylor.
Belatedly, the decision is given against Matt Whitley. As you say, Steve, the hit from Taylor was a monster.
Oh, was it ever. Talk about taking the upper body and ball and all belt. He's a classic man.
Well, in the wrestling ring, they wouldn't let them in the same spot, would they? The weight difference is massive between the two of them, and it's made a massive impact there. He's just picked him up and slammed him into the ground, legitimately, might say. But then maybe it's the sweat, or is it no, the hand? It's a penalty. Dave Taylor pushes the ball out.
Yeah, it certainly showed it on the slow-mo there.
You need to bind. Time off. Listen, boys, you've got to bind.
Well, it's going to be very difficult for Widnes to find a way back into this match.
Head in, mate, please.
And I do know that Dennis Betts will be bitterly disappointed, because it's 3 errors that have really allowed Catalan to take control.
16 points the difference, almost 16 minutes to go. Berg with a good tackle alongside Houston. Widnes need the ball. Bosk Drops the ball off for Casti. Trying that Dragons club record 76-60 feet of Widnes on the Vikings' Perpignan debut 4 years ago. Great work from Dupont. He was looking for support on the inside, it didn't come.
Yeah, a little bit late there to get there was Todd Carney. Blindside move.
They've got one left. Not the best pass. Boss looking for the ricochet. Picked up by Buchanan.
Widnes might not win this game, but they deserve some credit for the bravery they've shown. There was a tackle from Joe Mellor, who's playing fullback now, which was a wonderful attempt when he stopped Vincent Dupont, cut through the line. This might be the play here now. Shift it wide here, don't they? And then he hands off Matt Whitley. Sit down, get out of the way. Somehow Joe Mellor manages to stop the almost human tank rolling over the line. And then the kick goes in, and eventually the Vikings have enough pride to scramble back. Buchanan gets to it just before Thomas Bosch can tow it through into the in-goal area.
I think Bosch has put up a bit of a problem in the knee. He hit terra firma quite hard. Could see him spinning over. And not surprisingly, he's taking his time.
You'll be able to see the Catalan Dragons' next 3 matches live on Sky Sports. They've got trips to St Helens, and they go to Hull FC, and then they face the Warrington Wolves here. Catch all those live with us. The battle for that semi-final place.
Well, I'm sure they'll rest over the weekend, maybe even take a trip down to the beach in Perpignan and the surrounding areas there, and relax in the knowledge here now that after a tough week's work, they've managed to work their way back into this competition. Their hopes are alive in 2016 again now, should the score remain as it does today. And more importantly, not just the score, but the defence and their attitude to defend the way they have done today, I think gives them a chance. We know they can score tries, that's a given, and always has been really with the style that Laurent Frezu's had his team play. They've never quite shown the commitment to defend the line.
Well, they played as a team today, and it shows as well. There was good communication, especially between the two halfbacks, Bosch and Carney, and that could be a bitter blow to see Thomas Bosch limping off there. He's been very instrumental in this victory. But it's their defence. The improvement is outstanding.
More defence on show. Impressive defence from the Dragons. Herremeier shifts the ball left for Brown. Now it's Thompson. Immediately though, 3 in there for the Dragons. Pelissier, Stewart in there. Kevin Brown on the last. Hammers the ball upfield. He's got it behind the fullback and winger, but it's going to be too strong.
What a kick though. Unbelievable length there.
You take a 20-metre restart from that position.
And they won't be rushing it.
Elwa on me, Elwa. Jason Materi last.
Just under 15 to go.
Surrender!
This is where I've been impressed as also with the Catalans' attitude. The 3 quarters have got back and taken the ball up. A little bit of weight off the forwards. They've had to work overtime as well.
Pelissier. Ball away for Shigo.
That looked late coming in. And he felt that, did the fullback.
Bosch on the sidelines. And a job well done, you feel, for Thomas Bosch and the Catalan Dragons. Still going, and Pelissier hunting for more. Good tackle from Mellor. Initially comes back for a second effort as well. And they need to let the hooker play the ball. Referee's patience holds. Shift it right for Dave Taylor. The kick from Dave Taylor is an absolutely superbly weighted one, and it's a goal line dropout.
Yeah, tremendous work, Taylor. It's not often you see a prop forward do something like that. We saw the ability in the first half as well, with a chip over the top. On this occasion, you don't find many, but this guy, I love watching him. Pelissier, he really is a character. he can come up with some wonderful play, and then within 5 minutes he'll drop the ball and come up with an error. You just never know what you're going to get from that guy.
Claimed his only Super League double against Widnes last year, Here is Taylor. What's he going to do this time? Leicester hold on this occasion.
He's had a great season though, hasn't he? Especially early in the piece. He was by far the best prop for nearly half this competition.
Great passing has got them into this position. It's a hat-trick for Fouad Yaha in Perpignan. The flip from Vincent Dupont was superb. And Fouad Yaha gets a second half hat-trick against the Widnes Vikings.
Well, wonderful play. Again, it's almost similar play to the way he scored before. They passed the ball across, and Vincent Dupont shows what class he's got as a left centre. Sucks in one defender, and then flicks the ball out with his left arm under the armpit, straight in front of Fouad Yaha, who's delighted to dive in the corner and finish off what will be a great day for him. An enjoyable one out on the left wing. He's carried the ball strong, he's done what he's had to do, and he's more importantly put the ball down over that line for the 4 points when asked.
Yeah, he's a youngster with a great future, and is also a better future if he can keep on the outside of that man, Vincent Dupont. What a wonderful flick pass. And he doesn't look too happy, does he, Thomas Post? That may be a serious knee injury.
Fouad Yaha 9 tries now in 13 League and Cup. That's prolific by anyone's standards.
It's amazing to think, didn't he spend time on a trial period at the Leeds Rhinos a while back? He's obviously decided to get out of the house and go and have a look round, explore the world and try and get better. He's done well enough in a short space of time to get himself on the wing there for the Catalan Dragons.
2 years left on his contract with the Dragons as Carney looks for 2 more from the sideline. Wide on that occasion, but a 20-point margin now for the hosts.
Yeah, superb play, but watch the final pass. Dupont. Wonderful.
Well, he does. He has that wonderful ability to do the in and away and the pass. It's a skill, a developed pass really over the last 10 years. Teams used to have players doing that, but you can keep the ball and pass it accurately in one hand. It doesn't matter how it gets there, just get it to the man, and he did that. It's going to be a very tough last 10 minutes here now for the Widnes Vikings, who've worked so hard out there in the south of France.
It'll be interesting, Phil. You know, we've said so many times about the Catalan side that they've really put a lot of clubs to the sword. And then, in the last 15 minutes, for some unknown reason, they put the cue on the rack. Now, this is an opportunity to say to all the others in the top 8, hey, listen, it's not going to be easy to beat us. And this is where they have to really up the tempo and hopefully score another 2 tries. Send that message out that we can do it.
Well, another try would take them to 32 points, which of course is what Widnes inflicted on them just a couple of weeks ago. Half time at Lee, and the Centurions back in front by 14 points to 8. 10 or so minutes to go in Perpignan. Runciman eventually plays the ball. This is Cahill.
Jason, come on, hold.
Kevin Brown did well to hold on to that. Corey Thompson.
Hold now, wait. Go get square, Glenn.
Houston now.
Last got to be square, mate.
Last one coming up for the Vikings. Needs something quickly. Jeremiah. Brown off the outside of the boot. It's a probing kick. It's going to be too long though. Invention was good. Execution 90%. Just too long.
Well, they didn't quite get there, did they? The clock's just gone about to stop here. The referee, there's an injury to a Widnes player. He's just checking he's okay. Play well for obviously the most important thing in the game. But the Dragons now want to get back, and I think we might have one more try left in them just to, I think, put some smiles back on the supporters' faces who've had a bad month, haven't they? Particularly the chairman as well. They put their heart and soul into it. They're an emotional organisation. They've made a massive effort on the 10th anniversary game back in round 20 when they played against the Wigan Warriors. Things didn't work out for them. And now, just a few weeks later, giving themselves a chance. They've got to keep pace with St Helens.
Yeah, knock on there by Carney.
Yeah, the Dragons ended their regular season with back-to-back defeats against Wigan, as you say, Phil, and then Wakefield.
It was a complete turnaround, wasn't it? You know, they looked odds on to finish up in the top 4. They were playing very, very well, and then just had this amazing slump. And that doesn't look good, does it? There's iced up on that right knee.
Cahill for the Vikings. Lloyd White. Brown, Runciman, at pace as Thompson turns it back inside.
One-on-one. He's pinched it.
One-on-one steal on Patrick Arvan, and Broughton emerges with possession for the Catalan Dragons.
Well, that was the sort of play that we've seen very often. Reece Hanby coming round and collecting the ball. They've done well, the Vikings, I suppose. Without him, who was the main attacking player, went off early in the first half with a head injury. Also lost Christine, and he had a bad bang on his head. So without two of their starting 13, it's probably not surprising that they find themselves 20 points behind as Yaha goes on a run.
Could it be 4 for Fuad Yaha? He's got a lot of work to do. And Whitley gets across. Not on this occasion. He's lost the ball, says the official, Robert Hicks.
He bounces it past Corey Thompson, and it's Aaron Jeremiah who grabs the back of his shirt, and Whitley, they try and push him towards the sideline, and in doing so, the touch judge says he's lost possession.
Well, he's had a fine game, hasn't he, the youngster, Yaha? It's always nice to add a hat-trick to your career.
Well, it's impossible to tell, but you would say there's elements of heat exhaustion for both of these players now, the way they're moving around in this setting sun.
Vincent, get in, Vincent! Heads, balls, out!
Inside the last 8 minutes in Perpignan, Cahill, the Vikings got left in their tank. Thompson.
Move, Glenn! Hold here, hold! Wait! Hold!
Looks like he's picked up a bit of an injury as well. As you say, fatigue has certainly set in for both sides. But I'd just like to see in the final 7 minutes that Catalans can go forward and really produce something spectacular. As I mentioned before, they have this habit of putting the cue on the rack.
Let's play it then.
You can't afford to do that if you're going to make any impression in the Super 8.
I think in these conditions though, Mike, it's understandable if the quality of the skill does drop a little now in the final few minutes.
Wait, go.
White played the ball for Manakafoa.
3, move, Kenny. Hold here. Go.
They've done a good job on the big fella. You know, normally makes 2 or 3 breaks in each half, but again, we've got to compliment the defence from the Catalan side.
Kevin Brown slipped the net momentarily, and the big man
just a bit of
good carry.
Bit of handbags with Dave Taylor in back play.
All right.
Touch to John.
Tackle 4.
I think Mr. Taylor is saying, well, I did nothing. We'll soon find out.
Okay. That's late. Finish on then.
Penalty hit.
Penalty hit. Widnes.
First defence. Late hit. Late hit. Dave Taylor. Wait.
Dave Taylor was late. Widnes get the penalty. Buchanan dumped unceremoniously on his back. White. That was Kevin Brown. And now Cahill going forward. Brown again. Gives it some air. It's a great pass as well. It's a superb try from Patrick Arvan. Too little, too late, surely for the Vikings, but a great score nonetheless. High skill level, great pass, Kevin Brown, great finish, Patrick Arvan.
Yeah, tremendous play there. Wide one over the sea, and you'll see that Jody Broughton, he's just caught out of position. Tried his damnedest to push him away, but I'm afraid our van has got too much weight for that.
What a shame that that's going to be such an insignificant try in the course of this match and perhaps season, really. Because it was a brilliant play, wasn't it? They switched the change of side of attack and then threw a wonderful pass over the head of one or two players into the arms of Arvan, who did well to collect it and ground without being pushed out of play. I thought that was a great little short-sided play.
Yeah, lovely pass from Kevin Brown. He's tried to create the magic that we have seen over the years. I'm afraid the crunching defence from the home side has been a little bit too much for them.
Tries his last 5 now for Patrick Arvine, including home and away efforts at the Dragons' expense. Got a couple for Bradford here 3 years ago as well. Another difficult opportunity for Lloyd White. He's failed with that, but the Vikings in double figures. They trail 26 points to 10 now.
Good effort. Switch to the open side to blind is very difficult to stop. But Broughton will be looking at the replay of this and saying, I just got myself caught out. He came in, he should have left it to the centre to have a man-on-man. As I say, give him half a chance. Arvan knows the way to the line.
Widnes after this. They host Hull, of course, on Thursday. You can see that one live on Sky Sports. Then it's another home game against the Wildcats. And then another date with our cameras at Wigan.
Well, when they reflect on the way home where this game's gone, perhaps they'll look back at the fact they needed an element of luck to win here. The first decision that the video referee had to make in this match was the one that Steve and I thought was a try to Corey Thompson. As we review it, it was disallowed. A Stefan Marsh knock-on was eventually given by the field official on the field, but it was so close, wasn't it, that they could have almost been ahead with the first points. And who knows what difference that would have made. They've been so close, even though the scoreline doesn't tell you that.
And it's always the case of you've got to take your opportunity, your chances, and I'm afraid Widnes, too many errors, has allowed Catalan to take control of the game. Remember, 3 errors from Widnes allowed Catalan to score 3 tries. You can't afford to do that when it comes to the business end of rugby league.
They're in possession though with Whitley. They're just 4 minutes on the clock when that Corey Thompson try was ruled out, and then 16 minutes later Jody Broughton with that sensational score which was allowed to stand.
It'll be head and feed to Catalan. Bit of a sloppy pass behind. Good work by the big fella.
It's a great break by Lloyd White, wasn't it? He picked it up and scooted through that hole, but there's nobody quite close enough to him. He's aiming for Kevin Brown, but it goes behind him and it's too hard. And McGrath Lloyd White can't keep the ball in play.
No, definitely over the whitewash when he made contact. What a day for this young fella.
It wouldn't surprise you if he won the local man of the match, would it, really, for the club sponsors. Laura Fezzi will be happy with the way he's performed out on that left flank.
And it's always a highlight. 3 tries. The old hat-trick.
Only 16-10, remember, second half in terms of the Catalan advantage, given that Widnes had lost Rhys Hambry and Christine. So the positives for Dennis Betts.
Got the 4th penalty now from a scrum here. Players breaking too quickly or offside.
Successful return for Paul Ayton. Sorry, Steve.
Some teams do that. They do it on purpose, quite frankly. And drop that. Just say get on with the damn thing. Get on with the game. Now then, can the home side finish with a flourish? The fans would love it. The sun's out, or should I say it's dipping to the horizon. I think you can safely say that Widnes now realise that their very, very slim chance of making the 4 is definitely gone. But the most attractive thing, as far as Catalan's concerned, is that they're still in with the shout, Ben.
Absolutely, Steve. And Fouad Yahat will remember this day for a long, long time. Hat-trick for the 19-year-old ahead of his 20th birthday on Friday week. Satisfactory afternoon for Laurent Freyssinet. Inside the last 60 seconds now. Last one coming up for the Catalan Dragons. 10 metres away. They'd love the 30 points that Widnes inflicted on them a couple of weeks ago. Is that a fourth for Fouad Yahat?
I'm afraid he's knocked on.
It looked like that. He's going to hand this one on though, Robert Hicks.
Sadly, the big fella has just lost control in the vital moment.
No try on the field.
He knows he has to skip inside Corey Thompson. He can't go outside him this time, can't go over him. Jumps on the inside, twists the body, but I think loses it before he gets to the ground.
Well, it could have been 4, and they're all excited, but it'll be turned down.
He sticks at 3. Fouad Yahat.
Well, it was a similar attempt to what Patrick Arvan had done on the other side, wasn't it? A short-sided pass, asking the winger to squeeze his nose in the corner.
Should have been ready,
but it wasn't to be.
Had 25 seconds. 1.
Hardly a disappointing afternoon though for Fouad Yahat or the
Yes.
Catalan Dragons.
Hold, go.
It was a way that he shrugged the shoulders and said, no, maybe.
2. Hold. Go.
Potential, Steve. It's been pinched by Carney momentarily. He's going to be pulled back.
I think the most important thing about this, the coach Freyssinet will be very, very happy.
Absolutely, he will be. They've arrested that losing run. Catalan Dragons back in business. They've won this one by 26 points to 10.
So there you are. The Catalan Dragons return to winning ways and move back within 2 points of 4th place St Helens with a victory against the Vikings. Until next time, from me, Jenna Brooks, and all the team, it's goodbye.